Oh shit! I got you. Vex, the other day there was this asshole in this YouTube comment section, and I was like, because I was in this thing and I was talking about Tarantino movies, and I have this like general opinion about Tarantino movies, Vex. So I have this opinion, right, about Tarantino movies that isn't very popular. I like a lot of the ones that he made before Kill Bill, and I think Kill Bill is just kind of alright, like Kill Bill Part 1 and 2, they're alright. But then like after Kill Bill, it's not like, I don't really like a lot of Tarantino's work, except for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is one of his best films. But
that's a good movie. That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one a lot. It was really good.
Please, guys, if you could take some of them out, they are on me.
They're on all of us, Pierce.
Yeah, well, it's DeRoy's. They do this shit, man. I'm trying my best. Fuck! It's stabbed me right in the face! Fuck, it's so hard to talk about fucking this shit. Anyway, so I have that unpopular opinion about Tarantino movies, and one of the Tarantino movies that I really like, that I watched really recently, was called Natural Born Killers. It was like one that he wrote, but didn't direct. Oliver Stone directed the film, and he added a bunch of changes to it, which led to me, like, watching this Tarantino interview, where he was like, oh yeah, I walked out of the best part, the fucking, like, sitcom scene with Rodney Dangerfield, because I didn't write it. So he was all like, oh yeah, I walked out of it. He didn't call it the best scene, but he was all like, oh, that was like dog shit. I didn't write that, so I walked out of the theater. Anyway, point is that I watched this interview with Tarantino, and I could go into more about that later, but then I saw that he had another one about Joker, and which, you know, I watched after watching the interview, but in the video where he was like doing his podcast for Joker, he was all like, you know, like, oh man, I can't believe it, like, I went to the theater, and I saw it in the theater, right? Because he was in a movie. He watched Joker.
He saw it in the movie theater, yeah.
He was in the movie theater. What fuck, DeRoy's.
Yeah, we're trying.
I went to the theater to go watch DeRoy's. Got it.
Anyway, oh my god, got another one. Alright, so yeah, he said he was at a movie theater, he saw it, and he said, like, he had this ridiculous statement where he said that if you watch Joker, like, at home, or, like, you know, on TV or something, then you got a hand job, but if you watch it in the theater, you had great sex. And he was like, and I thought that was, like, an insane fucking quote.
I'm sorry, guys, the enemies did a run back, and they're winning.
That is a very it's a very Tarantino thing to say.
Anyway, Jesus Christ, you're both dead. Fucking okay.
Keep it together, soldier.
God damn it. You're just slapping me. God damn. Anyway, but I was trying to figure out, like, why he thought that, but he said in the video, it's like, oh, you could hear, like, the audience's, like, reaction when, like, you're in the scene with the interview, like, which, by the way, great scene, you know, interview scene,
fantastic
fucking Joker,
scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene, but he was all like, oh, you could hear, like, the atmosphere in the room, like, shift with the scene, like, and you could tell that, like, you know, people wanted him to shoot the guy and everything, and fuck!
Hey, you got one.
Ah! Look at DeRoy.
Pick up some heels.
Yeah. Got it.
Not the shoes.
Ready, Pierce? You ready?
I've been ready.
Okay.
What? Templars!
Here you go, man.
Run away.
Anyway, I just thought it was a... I have a hard time being angry about this fucking thing now that I'm, like, in stress. Before I, like, started this rant, I'm like, oh, man, I was like, I'm so infuriated by this Tarantino quote, because it made me realize something about people who still like to going to the theater. But fuck me.
Anger leads to hate.
I can't say shit out of anger while this shit's happening. I'm gonna so scrap this fucking recording. Anyway. Like,
don't you worry, Cam. It's gonna be on my stream.
God damn it! Fuck this.
Alright, going back to Air Raider.
This is not good, man. I need to bring something else. Trying to calm down, trying to collect my thoughts here. Anyway, I guess I should rewind a little bit and say, like, alright, so I know, like, I'm not really a movie theater guy, and you guys know this, but, like, alright, are you guys like movie theater guys? Do you guys still, like, go to the movie theater?
No, I buy DVDs.
Okay,
that's so even worse. That's fine.
Honestly, like, yeah, I respect that. Yeah. But, like...
Okay, who wants to watch all of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends? I'd go get some Courage the Cowardly Dog as well.
The VOD gets 5k views because of that.
Alright guys, I know what we're doing for our next watch-a-thon after Noob Get a Robo.
So when it comes to movies, right, like when it comes to movie theaters, I feel like they used to serve like this very practical purpose, the movie theater. Because back in the day, like in the 2000s when we were watching movies, they were really the only way to watch like new releases, right? Like if a movie's like coming out and it's...
Wait for the DVD release.
Yeah, it's either you wait for the DVD release, or you watch it in the theater. In the late 2000s, if a movie didn't do well at the box office, they might show it, like, at the fucking, like, on TV in, like, some sort of, like, big, like, TV premiere. But that's only if the movie, like, did badly. Like, they wouldn't... you know? Like, they wouldn't do that if the movie did well, right? So, that was, like, an option for you if you only wanted to watch, like, trash, I guess.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, if you wanted to watch, like, the good stuff and watch it immediately while it's still relevant to talk about, you would have to watch it in the theater pretty much. And that was, like, the primary purpose of the movie theater was, like, oh, you can go there and, like, there's an immediate, like, that's the place to go to watch what's new, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? So, and back then, you know, movies, you know, I feel like on an average, it was kind of likely that, like, if you saw, like, a trailer for something, you would know in advance, like, oh yeah, this is, like, something that I'm, like, that's kind of made for me, like, kind of captures my interests, you know, would probably be, like, a pretty good watch, you know, back then, there was, like, kind of some sense to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, like, today, like, you know, with streaming services and all this other stuff.
Why is Gura here?
So what about these streaming services? Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, now they should like the new movies on there too. It's like a lot of like movies, depending on what studio made them, will get put on a streaming service immediately. Which also means that it's way easier to like actually find the films on some certain alternative websites for free online. Cough, cough, you know? Yeah, exactly. So it's like, because it's easier for those guys to get a hold of the films immediately as soon as they're out, is the idea. So it's like, if you actually are going to the theater now, the primary reason why you would go to the theater is for the actual theater experience. So it's like, you know, your popcorn, your big screen,
or get
your big
COVID.
Speakers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So theater experience.
The thing is that, like, I get annoyed at the idea, going back to Tarantino, of going to a movie theater. I'm sure it makes sense with his job, you know, like with a guy like him who, like, actually makes movies to want to see how people react to it. But like, my experience with shit like that in the theater is like when I went and saw Rogue One, and like I was leaving the movie theater, Vex, and there was just a girl like who I overheard say something like, "I didn't like it that they all died at the end." Like, it's like, oh man, what man? Going to the theater and having that's great sex right there. Compared to, like, I could have had a hand
but
job.
unfortunately the sex was ruined by her prematurely. Well, everyone prematurely.
If I
They
stayed
saw
home,
each other.
If I stayed home with my HD headphones and watched it on my big screen, like, alone, you know, I would have been really missing out on her input.
Like, after a while, it's a novelty to go to the theater.
Yeah.
It's not...
Missile guys down.
Like, I don't give two fucking shits about being in a theater with other people because that's just annoying to me.
Yeah. Same. I think if anything, the people kind of detract from it for me. Because sometimes you get, like, a theater with some really annoying-ass people. Like, there's some guy sitting in the theater playing Pokemon Go on his phone while...
I'm sorry, Cam! That one time!
We told you to put the phone down, Pierce, damn it!
Yeah, it's just like...
That was family time!
You're trying to enjoy this movie, and there's this guy in front of you playing Pokemon Go on his phone.
Damn, it was the Hunger Games. What do you expect me to do?
That's another conversation. It's like, oh, it's for it's family time and shit. It's like, what?
Yeah, but you know what's a better way to enjoy a film with, like, your buds or your family is, like, to be able to watch it in a room together where you can all riff on it, instead of a theater where you're forced to sit through the whole thing without being able to pause it and without being able to like talk at all because it's fucking rude.
I'll do the stanky leg.
I know that like for some people like they're just like just don't care about talking, dude. Hey, I mean like the other people they're like peasants. You shouldn't have any shame in talking about. They're like peasants, dude. You shouldn't have any shame in talking in a theater, dude. Like it's actually fucking dudes who like make that argument. It's just like fucking stupid. It's like, yeah, no. It's like, I don't know, like, and there's, like, people who will argue that, oh, but if you're in the theater, and you're with the big screen and the big speakers, it's more immersive, right? It's more immersive than...
Well, I have an immersive theater!
Laptop. Yeah,
I don't fully agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I think that it's, like... Because, if anything, like, I get more immersed when I watch a movie, like, just, like, by myself, because then there's, like, no fucking distractions, right? It's like,
I've modified this VR headset to play this movie in 3D.
It's like, rather than experiencing the movie in the context of being in an audience of people, I'm experiencing it in the context of it being art and being a film. Yeah. You know? It's just like, it's where it's like, okay, I get to actually kind of...
God, it's raining death! Hallelujah!
My big thing is, it's just like the giant-ass screen where, like, no matter where you really sit, it's just too fucking big.
Oh yeah, like you go to the theater and you're stuck in like the front seat because you arrived a little bit too late and it's just like a packed house. Yeah. It's actually kind of funny that we never talk about the alternative, which is arriving to the theater too early to try to get good seats and you're stuck watching ads and trailers for like 30 minutes while waiting for the movie to start. Meanwhile, people are pouring in. You can't go up and like go use the bathroom or goof off in the lobby and get popcorn and stuff. You have to just sit there and preserve your seats while there's just like a ton of ads playing in the theater. So you're either on your phone doing stuff on your phone or you're watching the ads. Yeah, best theater experience I ever got was when I went to see the fucking Emoji Movie in an empty one. That was fucking amazing. That was like surreal.
Someone uploaded the Emoji Movie to YouTube, but they covered it up with like 18 layers of static at like 16p. And I still think that was the best way to watch the Emoji Movie.
And I heard one argument recently where I think I was watching like some YouTuber on a podcast and he was like, yeah, well, I'm sorry that I like going to the theater rather than like sitting at my college dorm where there's 17 idiots using the bathroom and everything. And I'm just like, I feel like that's like, here's the thing, viable argument that like, okay, if your home is hell, that like if you're living in hell right now, then maybe the movie theater is a pretty good option. But I feel like that's kind of deflection, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like if anything, it's like, man, you gotta sort out like your living condition. It sounds like you're not really happy where you're living. If you're not happy where you're living, then that sucks. You gotta like sort that out, I feel.
You should get better friends.
Maybe don't go spend a bunch of money on movie theater tickets. Maybe consider the cheaper alternative of pirating.
Alright guys, this one's a pretty easy one.
I'm going to crash.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, movie theaters have become a wee little redundant, I feel. It's, there's less reasons why I could excuse going to a theater, especially with how bad movies are right now, right? Because, like, I feel like on an average, like, a movie these days could be, like, on paper seem like it's gonna be freaking awesome. Like, a good example would be, in my opinion, Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight, which I do not like. It was...
You don't like that one?
No, I don't. Because it was, like... The thing is that...
Take my piss laser!
On paper, I was, like, so excited to see it. Like, I went to go see it, like, opening night at the theater. And I was so super excited to go watch it, because on paper, it's like, okay, it's got Kurt Russell, who's, like, one of my favorite actors. It's got Tarantino, who's, like, you know, like, he's made some of, like, amazing movies, like, back in the 90s, you know, so he's gonna, like, handle it fucking crazy. It's a Western, which, of course, means I'm gonna like it. You know, it's
Sam
Tarantino.
Jackson.
Yeah, it's Tarantino working with Sam Jackson. So it's Tarantino writing Sam Jackson dialogue, right?
And Sam Jackson going, yeah, N-word, yeah.
Yeah. Right. On paper, it's like, oh, this is going to be, like, I know what this is going to be. I'm going into it, and I'm expecting this to be, like, a love letter to spaghetti westerns. They say that they filmed it entirely with, like, old, like, film cameras and shit. And it's going to have that, like, old look. It's going to have that, like, spaghetti western grunge that I love from Italian western films. Seems like I'm going to absolutely love and adore this movie.
So, Cam, where the fuck are you?
He's over there.
I'm just killing Kroll and, for, like, you know.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you're a wing diver. You could actually just go to your feet, vaporize it. Vex and I have the hard part of go through shield and vaporize him.
With nowadays, it's like something could be like that, where it's like on paper it looks like it can't fail, but then it can still end up being just kind of like, oh, it's Among Us, but like there's the twist is that the killers are two people that have been off screen this entire time. They were hiding in the attic.
Question.
Oh, you don't
When's
like
the
that
Among
part?
Us movie?
Yeah, I didn't like the ending twist. I thought it was like it was lame. It was just like, okay.
Wait, did the Among Us movie actually already happen?
No.
Okay.
No, but I'm just saying, like, at the end of Hateful Eight, it's just literally like, oh, there was some guy.
Channing Tatum was in the basement the whole time.
Yeah, that's just like, and that's all there really was to it. It's just like, okay, cool.
I think it's fine because they all just kind of barge into a random fucking house.
But also, like, I don't know, and they kill off Kurt Russell too quickly. Like, I feel like I only got to see a wee bit of Kurt Russell at the very start of the movie, and he was like part of the reason why I went to go see it. And then they just kill him.
That's personal preference stuff. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, it's like that's fucking lame.
Hey Vex, welcome to my little stronghold.
Hi. I enjoyed it. I thought it was. I didn't enjoy the dick sucking scene.
Well, yeah, there's
That was
also
kinda-
that, which was really unfortunate to watch with my parents who were in the theater.
Like it
Welcome
was,
to my fortress. Anyone who gets here with more than 2 legs dies.
It's understood as to why it was. You know, it happened because of time period, but it was still kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, just random dick sucking scene on a bridge. But aside from my opinion on Hateful Eight, my point is that like I feel like with movie theaters, the main issue with them is that like they're kind of a slot machine. You could have like everything right on paper in terms of like your preferences, but then the movie can just randomly disappoint you. Like it could just randomly just like out of nowhere, it's like you know, you just supported the movie, but then it kind of had like a little fuck you in there, you know? Because some movies do that these days. Not Hateful Eight, but other movies. Like, they kind of do that thing where it's like, yeah, we know that a certain kind of guy wants to go see this movie, but fuck you. We're making this movie to spite that kind of audience. And it's just like, fuck that. I'm gonna, like, you know, it's like, why would I go see the movie then? You know, like, it's like, but then, like, it's kind of a trap because you'd already spent the money. You went to the theater, which means that you already contributed to the movie's box office. You're offering your support to the movie, even though you didn't really know what it was before seeing it.
Yeah, that's why I don't like go. If I were to go, it wouldn't be release day.
Get pissed on!
It would be
yeah, but I don't trust critics either. Like, I watch a lot of sorry, not a lot of, but I watch a couple of like YouTuber film critics on YouTube, and I feel like
get pissed on.
Even they aren't ever like completely right or like really.
Well, that's why I don't go for the critics either.
Yeah.
I look up like maybe a scene or something.
Oh, you just
I
watch
can.
a scene.
And I'll be like, oh, does this fit my
Like,
tone?
That's interesting. I haven't thought of that. I haven't thought of like actually like going and just watching a scene. I feel like that didn't work with me in Joker. I don't like. There is a really good scene in that movie, but I didn't.
I mean, yeah, it would depend on the scene. You didn't like Joker?
Yeah, I did not care for Joker. It was like, which is weird because like you would think that I would have liked it, but I weirdly, like, I think a lot of it is because I watched Natural Born Killers right before watching it, which is, like, it's kind of weird, because, like, a lot of people hyped up that Joker is this big movie about, like, oh, it's the society thing, society meme, all that shit. And it's like, oh, it's like, it's pointing out, like, the cycle of shit, and it's pointing out, like, the media and, like, their role in all of it and all that shit. But that's, like, barely in the movie. In fact, I think the only thing that really criticizes mass media at all is this one scene after...
Guys, this one's a tough mission.
It's like a short scene after the interview scene where they just show a bunch of screens with all the violence from the riots. And if you watch that scene without watching the film, you would think that that scene is depicting, like, the riots being caused by the...
Did anyone hear me?
The scene?
Yes. Oh, okay, good.
Sorry.
We have to fight a king, a cyclops, a queen, and a queen.
Fuck, I forgot to switch off the monster because I was talking. It's like this one scene where it shows, like, the media cameras, but when you actually watch the movie, they're not saying that, like, that shit, like, caused the riots. The riots were already happening before Joker came on the set. Like, it definitely added to it, but it, like, the actual, like, thing that caused the riots was people's anger towards Wayne Corp, which people started noticing that after he killed the guys on the subway. So it's far more of a kind of...
Okay,
like,
queen down.
It's far more of a kind of, like, eat the rich kind of thing than it is like a, like, fuck the media, you know, like, fuck the people in charge, like, the control and all that shit. Which definitely goes against the things that I've been hearing online. Like, I remember one person once described it as, like, oh, it's like Black Panther for gamers. It's like, which it's just not true. It's not at all what I got from Joker.
Okay, Hornet
strange.
down.
That's very strange, you say.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Hornet is down, guys, so yay us.
I'd say it is still very a society movie, because it's more so, like, we get the entirety of it through the entire movie, just how Arthur's treated, not just, like, by the people around him, but the system that he's in, and, like, his medical stuff. Like, there is a thing where it's like, yeah, they're cutting mental stuff because they don't have the money. Congratulations, you don't get your meds anymore.
I think that the mistake that the movie kind of makes is that it just kind of a lot of people were like, oh, it's like this reversal, right? Where it's like, oh, like the
people are like, no, okay, so is it the people or is it the movie that made the mistake?
That's probably true.
Because you're saying that, well, the movie made this mistake, but you're constantly referencing the people watching the movie.
That's true. It's kind of like I wanted to see the movie that people described, like they kind of wished into existence. And oddly enough, the movie that I think people described better, like, describes the film Natural Born Killers. It's very weird because I watched them kind of back to back, and that is a movie that depicts the media in a very, like, villainized, antagonized role, where they kind of like showcase, like, how they kind of perpetuate and create these monsters in people.
I mean, if we're going with that, Scooby-Doo 2 does that too.
I think Coolsville stinks.
It's a bad double feature, watching Natural Born Killers and then watching Joker, because Natural Born Killers is a movie that makes you, like, it, like, completely broke, like my own views in a lot of ways. It was like a movie.
Guys, Cyclops is here! Cyclops is here!
It successfully made me, like, a guy who's, like, you know, I'm always playing, like, those postal kind of games and stuff like that, but it made me hate the mass murderer characters so fucking much, because it managed to do
Guys, I'm surrounded in Mountain Dew!
Really subversive things where it's like, they'll show a scene that's like it kind of makes you want to barf in the way that it tries to, like, build sympathy for them, but it's doing it kind of in mockery to try to, like, make you hate them. And it's
we're being covered in Mountain Dew.
It's a great showcasing of, like, oh, this is how movies do this shit and stuff like that.
You're seeing, like, calm down.
Yeah, I think we got this, Pierce. I know. Shit.
Y'all really don't like your dick sucking scenes. I mean, again, like, I understand why it was there. I understand it was supposed to be
I'm not
uncomfortable.
drinking from Mountain Dew. It's acidic.
And it's like, yeah, that's the point of it. It was supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. But it was just kind of long. Let's see.
Well, there was more
dad's
than
gonna
one
make
thing that
me-
was long about that scene.
Damn. Deal.
Sam Jackson's dick.
So I guess the reason why it's a bad double feature is because, like, Natural Born Killers is a movie that leaves you disgusted and, like, kind of not digging the whole, like, these people deserve, these people are, like, made monsters by, like, this experience, and, like, their actions are justified because they're victims too, or something like that. It kind of makes you hate that mindset, and that is definitely something that Joker does. It consistently tries to make Arthur come off as a victim. None of the people that he kills in the movie didn't wrong him in some way. Like, it's not really like this thing where it's like, oh, like, there's not a moral dilemma here. Like, you know, it's not like making you cheer for him when he's killing some rando. Like, because he doesn't kill any randos. He only kills people who, like, specifically fuck him over.
Yeah.
Like, down to even if, like, you can argue, like, the collateral with, like, Thomas Wayne and shit like that. It's like, it's always, like, people who kind of end up, like, fucking with him somehow or fucking him over when they could have helped him at any point.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't really think it was that particularly clever, because it, that whole, like strategy of, like, filmmaking, it's criticized heavily in Natural Born Killers when they have the scene earlier where it's like, oh, it's like their origin scene where fucking one of them, like, kills her father because he was abusive and shit. But then later on, she's killing random fucking people. It makes you question, like, oh, am I supposed to, like, feel sympathy for this person? It's like, no. It's just showing that when you take one of these guys and you, like, turn their lives into a clip show, then it's like you can feel different things depending on what you're seeing or what you're choosing to show. At the end of the day, she's a piece of shit.
I mean, the biggest thing that you can get Arthur on is letting himself into that one lady's house.
Yeah, but
and even that he doesn't really do anything.
Wasn't that the fake woman, the not real girlfriend?
Yeah, that's not real girlfriend, but she was still real. He let himself into her house.
Was that
apartment?
Was that her when she was real, or, like, I don't understand.
No, she was always real. It was just that he was never, like, he was always fantasizing about her.
Oh, okay, so the scene where he breaks into her apartment and she's actually there, that's real, whereas the scenes where where they're together, those aren't real.
No, yeah, those are not real.
Okay.
That's his delusions, most likely directly linked to him not taking his meds. Like he should be, but he can't afford. But again, like, you don't just go into some random lady's apartment that you don't actually know.
Right. And I want to just say real quick, like, I'm not saying that Joker isn't a well-made movie. I understand, like I could act like all snooty about it as possible and be like, oh, like this and that. But at the end of the day, like, you know, on a technical basis, like they filmed some really good scenes. Joaquin Phoenix, I don't know how to fucking pronounce his first name, but Joaquin Phoenix. God, it's like I'm taking a roll. But Joaquin Phoenix, like, he puts on an amazing performance. He always does in his movies. And like I don't want to act like, you know, oh, like on a technical basis it's like this and that. But when it comes down to, like, I think, like, the story and what it's doing, I didn't think it. I think it would kind of hit a little soft for me. Whereas, like, this other movie from, like, 20 years prior, I was like, I was getting hit, like, you know, like, oh shit, this thing's dropping all sorts of, like, weird ass truth bombs, you know. So bad double feature. It kind of, like, was just this thing where I was realizing, like, man, I don't, like, people really hyping this up to be like this revolutionary.
Which one are we attacking first? Left, right, or middle?
And I just think that, like, by modern film standards, it's good.
I guess we're going left.
You know, doesn't really mean a whole lot. Like, I've been pretty cruel. Like, someone, like, asked me, like, oh, like, what's your thoughts on Joker? And I was like, oh, it's good by modern film standards, or it's a 4 out of 10. But fucking, like, that's probably me just being a little goofy and mean. It's... you know?
If you hadn't had watched it after Natural Born Killers.
if I hadn't watched it, I might have liked it a little more, or appreciated some of the things it did a little more. I feel that is a fair statement.
Yeah, the critics are silly on good movies. Shit. The fact they complained about Joker because it was like, ew, white man, don't have depression, stop it.
By the way, I'm dropping poison gas everywhere.
The media freaking out about Joker, I also feel like was uncalled for.
Oh yeah,
like
the biggest thing that they had was the mass shootout during Batman. The last one, the last
Airbender, got it.
No, yeah, the last Airbender one. The Dark Knight Rises. And that was like their constant, like, oh, this is going to be like the Dark Knight Rises shooting, but way bigger and more constant, and everybody's going to do it. It's like, why? Why do you think that?
I don't know. There's a lot of things to pick apart about the media's reaction to Joker, but I just feel like it's kind of like, I feel like whenever I hear anyone talk about Joker, it's like they're describing a movie that I didn't see. It's the weird thing, because I feel like which is just an enigmatic aspect of the film. I feel like a lot of the film, it's like, you know, it's kind of like trying to garner sympathy for people, for like dudes who have like issues and stuff, you know, which I think is fine. You know, I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think it's to put into the spotlight the people who do have like issues mentally and all that kind of stuff, who can't get the help that they need.
We as a country need, not just.
Like, we're still, for some reason, very behind on mental health.
Yeah.
Very behind.
That's interesting, because I don't know. I was, well, maybe. I was like, because I don't know. Maybe I was gonna just say like I don't think so. I think that it's like that's one of the things that I found that the film was a little weak on, because I feel like
and actually recovering for it, Cam, we're behind.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not saying that there's not people with issues out there, but I feel like the help that exists for them does exist. I think a lot of people don't want it, or there's like confusion surrounding like what kind of help they should get, and that's the problem. Because I think we've kind of gone a little meta-gamey with.
I'm sorry if I accidentally gave you the Black Plague, you two.
But that's kind of a more serious topic. I don't really want to.
Yeah, that's not for EDF.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Which ones should we kill? Which ones should we squash? Which ones would you date?
Let's not date the bugs.
Yeah, I was watching one of our old episodes, and I was like talking about like I want an EDF dating simulator so I can date a DeRoy. I remember that.
Yeah, you want the DeRoy, Cam?
The DeRoy, yeah.
Did Natural Born Killers have a scene where Mr. Natural Born Killer pisses on Gary Coleman's face?
No, but it did have a scene where there's a fake sitcom where Rodney Dangerfield like threatens his daughter. It's pretty fucking insane. That movie is batshit. I don't know. It might be a little too pretentious for some people.
Guys, we have big androids.
I remember Kamek's one immediate critique of Team America was the dick sucking scene. That was very funny.
No, I thought it was unnecessary, but it was funny. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? There's like people, god damn it, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but there's like people who think that that's like a ritual thing. It's like kind of along the lines of like forcing a guy to wear a dress in the movie, where they're like, it's the Illuminati, they make people do that. But I feel like there's some people who are like, the dick sucking? It's the Illuminati. It means that they gotcha.
This is in reference to Arthur and the real fake lady. When I noticed that they have never been together, I was like, damn! It's like, yeah, it's very overt. Like, she's real, she's just not. They're not doing anything. He's just fantasizing.
The first time they met, I had the vibe that she wasn't real. Like, it was even like without remembering like that she wasn't real from all the memes. I was just like, yeah, that chick's not real.
One of the big things I remember about that was Red Letter Media's review on it, and Jay was just bashing it constantly because it was directed by the guy who made the Hangover movies. And it's just like he couldn't stop being on that. It's just weird.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I don't really watch those guys. I don't like them very much. But yeah. I just realized that's another aspect of Joker that I didn't appreciate as much because I watched Natural Born Killers right before. In Joker, there's the fake girlfriend thing, and the whole thing is that it's like playing with like your perspective, and it's supposed to make a point. But that's like 90% of Natural Born Killers. That movie is constantly fucking with you and showing you things that you're not sure is real or not. All
right, guys, here's another repeat mission.
Like Pierce trying to rein us back.
Yeah, 100%.
He's just trying to make it so that we don't die.
That's y'all's favorite movie?
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, easily, for me. I know it's like 3 hours long, so it's not for everyone, but that is it's an amazing film. It's a whole saga. There's like 2 whole story arcs in that movie that are just fantastic.
I flip-flop a lot, but I'd say anything in the Cornetto trilogy. Hot Fuzz, World's End, and Shaun of the Dead. And Pierce doesn't watch movies.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever watched a lot of anime films, Pierce?
Yes.
Alright, well, what's your favorite one of those?
Gurren Lagann Movie 2.
I was gonna say Gurren Lagann, bro.
Hell yeah.
Someone took out an oversized weapon. Yeah? Yeah?
That actually does lead me to a topic.
Yeah?
Not the oversized weapon. But the gay porno thing.
What the... What gay porno thing?
So, when I was importing stuff from Japan, like Toho stuff from Comiket, the site I used sent a free doujin.
Nice.
It was BL.
Oh, nice.
It was Full Metal Alchemist.
I was expecting Lords of the Locker Room.
It is fortunately nothing in there.
God.
No need for censorship because there's nothing there.
It's just empty?
No, it's soft.
Softcore.
Yeah, there's nothing related to that. It is the lightest of light BL. It is, hey, slice of life, but there's some romantic tension. Or something, I have no idea.
That sounds sweet.
I mean, it's Full Metal Alchemist. The only people it would be with would be the brothers, so,
So they don't give us any time to go collect shit.
You're gonna like the DLC too, then.
No, I'm not.
God, so the energy that, like, we went from with that movie theater, Ray, it really went from, like,
almost died. Oh,
panic to, like, rage, with Vex being uncharacteristically, mature. You put on a more mature tone there than you normally do. That was like I'm at a job interview and Vex is trying to figure out what I think about Joker. He's the... So you don't like Joker, huh?
You don't like Joker, huh?
I didn't even see that on your resume. How long have you not liked Joker?
Let's say, how long have you been watching movies? I see there was a brief break.
I see that aside from Top Gun 2, you haven't been to a movie theater in like 10 years.
It's like, that's very strange. You elaborate.
Okay, I guess it hasn't been 10 years, because I did watch the Emoji Movie 7 years ago in a theater.
Well, Top Gun 2 wasn't 10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, I guess there's been a few movies that I've seen in theater. Alright, congratulations for finally making it to the end of the video. I plan on continuing to make more highlights like this in the future of me, Vex, and Pierce's Let's Plays that we do. We do streams every so often of EDF. If you want to check out the full streams, I'll have links down in the description below for their channels. Additionally, I think it would be a nice thing to give a random shout out to some good content at the end of each of these highlight videos. So for today's shout out, that's going to be Chino Spike. Chino Spike is a video game animation channel that makes interesting animations using SNES sprites, all sorts of stuff. He even does like little Gmod animations using traditional Gmod animation tactics that you would see in much older YouTube content. Generally just a very nostalgic channel, reminds me a lot of some stuff that I would have watched back in 2012 when I first started watching YouTube. Awesome to see that people are still making content like it. He's also actually pretty funny, unlike a lot of channels that have a similar vibe. I find his sort of memey humor to be just about right. Sometimes it's a little inappropriate, but sometimes it's very clean, and he manages to just get things with comedic timing. So big shout outs to Chino Spike. That's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed.